cricket and of course test match cricket. And if you think of India versus Australia in the last 2 decades, the one name that will stand out for having made a massive difference for India, be it in that amazing test match in Kolkata or that amazing series in 2001, or during the 2007-8, or during the 2007 T20 World Cup, it has to be Harbhajan Singh. So India-Australia without Harbhajan Singh is practically not possible. So that's why I thought, why not celebrate Harbhajan Singh on this episode of Inspiration as we build up to India-Australia. Bhaju, thank you very much for gracing my show. What is it about you and Australia? How did you bring out your best each time you played, at that point, the world's best cricket team?
Thank you very much, Boria, for having me on this show, and it's a pleasure talking to you once again. And yeah, it's like, you know, when you're playing against the best side, you have to be at your best. So I wanted to compete with them, and I wanted to check if I am good enough to sustain at this level, at international level. And the only way you can check your abilities while playing against the best, and if you can perform against the best, then you know that you can perform at that level. So that was one of the things which gets me going. You know, whenever I played against Australia, I wanted to do my best, and always wanted to compete.
Bhaju, I've got to take you back to 2001. I mean, my home city. You were not the Harbhajan Singh of today, not the Harbhajan Singh who the world knows as a legend and 400 test wickets and World Cups for India. You were a teenager. You were just a teenager, and there comes Australia with 16 test matches and beating every side in the world, and 3.5 days at the Wankhede. When you think back to that series, 30 wickets, bowling what Sachin Tendulkar tells me is the best ever he's seen anyone bowl. How did you do it? When you think back and look back, how do you look at that series?
Well, Boria, to be honest, I don't know how it happened. I just bowled the same way I bowled throughout my career, but maybe, you know, I had gone through a lot during that time. You know, I lost my father. I was chucked out of Cricket Academy, National Cricket Academy, and a lot of, you know, the bad things were actually I had gone through. So maybe it was God's signs for me to go through the good patch, and you know, that's when that series came. And you know, I would like to say thank you to the team management, and also Saurav Ganguly, and of course Almighty for giving me that opportunity to play against that side. You know, everything was on my side. Everything was like an opportunity for me to do something special, because Anil Bhai was not around. He was injured, and I was the only spinner, you know, where, you know, lot of people have that expectations. I just bowled the way I have bowled, as I said, you know, and I wasn't doing anything special. Maybe, you know, I can say that all the wishes, all the prayers worked for me during that time. My mom, my sisters, they all prayed for me, for my success, and that came true, I think.
Fantastic. And if I take it forward by 7-8 years to 2007-8 and that series in Australia, Harbhajan, and the Monkey Gate series, I've never seen a camera on one particular player, and both you and I know there was one camera tailing you. Now talk to me about that pressure. How do you handle that pressure as a 24, 25-year-old? The whole world is watching. You're the cynosure of attention. There's a lot of controversy surrounding you, but you are still supposed to deliver for your team. And then in that CB, you know, that one-day series, the CB series, the Commonwealth Bank series, when you got Harbhajan and Matt Hayden, whether it's LBW run out, and that reaction by you tells me that good things happen to good people. So tell me about that series, because that's also the making of Harbhajan Singh in a way, and how you handled that pressure.
Well, Boria, a lot of things happened there in Sydney, and on that particular tour, you know, as you said, a lot of cameras were following me, and there were a lot of media attention, negative publicity for me. You know, every day there was an article about me in the papers. But the best thing was that I didn't let anything affected me. You know, I always wanted to play the best cricket I know I can play, and wanted to deliver for my team. And I didn't let anything bother me, And yes, few time I wanted to go out, have dinner with my friends, but it was always frustrating seeing those cameramen watching you and following you, what you're doing. And more than that, when I was there on the ground, I know everybody, they are not supporting me, they are booing me, but at the same time, I kind of knew it that they're all here to watch me. So I can't send them back without doing and without entertaining them. So the best way to shut them was to do the best you can do on the field and beat Australia in Australia. So that's exactly what happened in the one-day series. We played some brilliant cricket with the young team. A lot of the youngsters came on that tour, and we ended up winning the series, CB series. It was brilliant. So, as I always say, you got to make sure you have to play your best game, play your A game when you're playing or competing against the best side in the world, which was Australia. But we wanted to be the best side in the world. So that was something always there in my mind, and we all had to play the role. What we played.
What the other thing that stands out for me in that series was how the other cricketers, I mean, your seniors, your juniors, how the whole team rallied behind you. I remember Sachin telling me, they called you Bhaji Jackson, a la Michael Jackson, because you were the second most followed player or second most followed person in the world. And when you all went to Bondi Beach to play volleyball, I mean, all of us were just watching what Harbhajan Singh was doing. I mean, you became this raging superstar, and the team backed you. 5 o'clock press conference in the morning. When has that happened? So that was fantastic to see. Can you tell me a little bit about the backstage, how the others, whether it is Anil, whether it is Sachin, whether it's Rahul and Saurav, how they backed you in that series?
Well, I think we all kind of got together, and we sat, we understood what all happened on the field, and I told them exactly what all happened, and once it was done, and then everybody was together. With Ranil Bhai, he was captain of the team, and he led this whole matter from the front, and he spoke to the BCCI, and the way BCCI backed me and also my senior players, Anil Bhai, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul, VVS, and sorry if I don't, sorry if I forget anyone's name, but the whole team, the way they backed me and they all believed in me, it was very, very important, and that was something. That incident brought us all together, and we all wanted to play a very, very tough cricket there. And you must have heard, the way Anil Bhai gave the statement in the press conference as well. After Sydney Test, that it was one team who was playing within the rule. It was us. So you could understand the body language of our dressing room, our team. We wanted to beat them now. It was all about playing tough cricket. Yes, we'll play within the rules, but yes, we want to beat you guys, and that's exactly what we were there for. And I can't say thank you enough to Team India, BCCI, and all my senior and juniors on the team, who backed me during that time and who had that belief in me that that we can do something special there and we can create history there by winning the series there, and we did that.
I was there in that press conference, and thereafter in that Perth test, after the end of the test match, you all had that whole list of things written in the dressing room board. So I have still a photograph of that. And then you all sent Irfan with the man of the match bottle champagne to celebrate with the media. I thought at that point, the media had become an extension. All of us had become an extension of the team, and each of us were operating as Team India, and that made a massive difference in that series. Baju, coming to now, do you see this team mentally as tough as your team? Do you see what we did in 2018 can be repeated by Virat and his team? And now that Virat is not going to play more than one test, how much will that impact India's fortunes?
Well, I most definitely feel that this team have got enough power in their team to, retain the trophy. They played brilliant cricket last time when they were in Australia. Virat Kohli was absolutely brilliant, and so was Pujara. We hardly hear his name because he's always under the shadow of the big players. But Pujara's contribution was big, big, big. And I still feel, even without Virat Kohli, it's going to be a big challenge. But I still believe that Indian team have got that kind of a batting lineup, and also more than that, bowling, which is the key factor for India. Which can get you those 20 wickets. I think they have got the team to beat Australia in Australia, even with Warner and Steve Smith.
Okay, if I can now sort of pick your brains as somebody who's played 100 test matches, who understands the game better than most. When Virat is not there, and obviously this will mean a lot to Rohit, the test batsman, because he wants to do much better in test cricket. So would you open with Rohit and have KL Rahul in the form that he is in the middle order for Virat Kohli? How is your thinking? How does India manage? It is one thing to say without Virat we still have great players, good players, which we do. But how is, if I ask you to become coach for a while and tell me what your thoughts are, how do you fill a gap like that of Virat Kohli?
Well, I would not like to change the opening partners. I would like them to be, at their positions. Rohit Sharma should open in Australia, and KL Rahul, can fill that slot for Virat Kohli. KL is too good a player, to play at number 3, 4, or even open. So it will not, make a huge difference. Whether he opens or bat at number 3, because he's a quality player.
And the fact that we are starting with the pink test, will that be a problem for India? Because, we've not had exposure to more than one pink test, and that too was against Bangladesh. Is that going to suit Australia, Baju, you think? Or both of the teams are starting on an even keel and it's no problem?
Well, I don't see any problem. Both the teams are starting from zero, and it'll come down to who plays the better cricket and who will bowl better than the other team. Simple. It'll come down to that. And pink ball, whatever I have seen cricket with pink ball, seems to have a lot of seam around here and there with the new ball. But once the seam is settled, it's easier to bat. So I'm sure our seamers must be looking forward to bowl with the pink ball, because India have got the great bowling lineup. As I said, Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, and the others can do the damage what Australia will look to do. So it's start from even, but I would give edge to India, doing well in Australia, because India have got that team who can play in any condition, whether in Australia or England. They have got that mindset. And, also there's another point. Both the team have not played a lot of cricket, in terms of quality cricket. It's been a pandemic all over the world. So due to Corona, there's hardly any cricket. But Indian cricketers have gone after the IPL, which I feel will give them some sort of edge. They are in better nick than the Australian cricketer.
The Australians also had that sort of brief series against England. But interesting you make that point that India played the IPL. And now coming to the IPL and the white ball format, you've been very vocal. You've been, if I follow your social media profile, you've been very vocal about a Surya Kumar Yadav, for example. Now, if I ask you this, Baju, you've had controversy, you've had glory, you've had success. But when someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav performs year on year, and yet doesn't get an opportunity, there is every reason to feel deflated. How does a cricketer motivate himself like that? And do you think for Surya, 1 year later we have the T20 World Cup, if he keeps working hard, has another good IPL, can he still push open that door for the Indian national side?
Well, Boria, I don't understand, for someone like Surya Kumar Yadav, as you said, I've been vocal because somebody need to talk the right thing. You can't, ignore a guy who's continuously performing at, IPL level. And if you see his domestic T20 records and other, whatever cricket he's played, he's doing better than many others who are playing presently in Indian team. So I think this guy deserves to be in the national team, because we are Indian and we want our team to win and we want our best players to play. Yes, if this guy is doing better than the other, then he should get the opportunity. So coming to that point, if he'll do another IPL like this, like he played this year, for some people, only one game is enough. They say, okay, one game, he's done well, pick him in the team. And for people like Surya Kumar Yadav, he need to continuously perform, not just one season, twice, and now you're talking about the next season if he'll continue to work hard, which I'm sure he will. But if he get picked, I don't know. But if if we are talking about why he's not getting picked, I don't understand, because he's done enough, more than enough, to be in the national team.
So what you are making here is a very strong point, that there are quality cricketers who have not yet made the national side. So if the selectors are listening, this is not a show for controversy, and I'm not going to get into that at all. But having said that, the one problem, Bhaju, and why do we celebrate Harbhajan Singh? Harbhajan Singh won us that 2001 series against Australia. Harbhajan Singh, 2007 World Cup winner. Harbhajan Singh, 2011 World Cup winner. All said and done, ultimately in sport, it is winner takes all. And Virat Kohli needs to win a World Cup as skipper, because that's going to cement his legacy. What do you think? I mean, firstly, do you agree with this? That, as a captain, ultimately, you, or as a player, you have to go and tick those boxes. Virat will get 2021 in India. He gets this series in Australia. He will get 2023 in India. 3 World Cups in 3 years. How important is it for Virat Kohli, the captain, to win a World Cup, to be labelled as a great captain?
Well, I think any player or any captain would like to have that sort of achievement. Winning the World Cup, would be brilliant. It will not make Virat Kohli very big. Yes, he's already a very, very big player, but yes, it will add on to his legacy, what he'll leave behind. That yes, he's a World Cup winning captain. And I could see that, that's happening with the kind of team we have now. I don't have any doubt that Virat Kohli will be left without any kind of trophy. But I feel the time is very near, where Virat Kohli will be lifting the World Cup, maybe the T20 one or the next one.
So when you say, Harbhajan, that the time is very near, what is the one thing that you want this team to do? Is it the killer instinct in key matches like a semi-final or a final? Sourav Ganguly calls this series a milestone series. You have won World Cups. What is the one thing that we are lacking, if you have to pinpoint and advise that, okay, on that particular moment you have to win key moments? What is the one thing that you all did as a team that this team needs to do to cross the line? Because no question they have potential.
Well, I think they need to start, relying on more than just 2 or 3 players. That's very, very important. Last World Cup, we saw Rohit Sharma was the key player for Team India, and Virat is always going to be key player. But, you have to have more match winners in your team. And I feel that's where, India need to create more match winners around Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to win the cup. Because in pressure matches, Rohit Sharma might get out early and Virat Kohli might get out early. But then you have to have other players to fill that slot and have that belief in them to still do the job for Team India. And KL Rahul is doing fantastic job. And I think he's going to be one key player for Team India going forward. And around Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, we need more player like KL Rahul, whom we can all believe that, yes, these are the guys, even if Virat Kohli gets out, KL Rahul gets out, Rohit Sharma gets out early, anybody can get out. But still, we have that hope and believe that we can win the game. And that's exactly was the case with Team India when we played. And we lost Sachin Tendulkar, Virendra Sehwag in first couple of overs in the final. But we had that belief sitting in the dressing room, Gautam Gambhir will do the job, Mahendra Singh Dhoni will do the job, or Yuvraj Singh will definitely do the jobs. And if they don't do it, I'll do the job. So that got to come within from here. That got to come, that belief have to come from within, and we have to create more match winners around them, basically.
Love that answer. Love that answer about I will do the job. Last few minutes on the show, Baju, 2-3 times you've mentioned the Indian bowling attack. You've mentioned Jasprit, you've mentioned Shami. Saurav tells us on this particular show that Ishant will be fit, will be travelling to Australia, will also be part of that Adelaide test, fingers crossed. You've not mentioned spinners. Now, when I think back to India's major wins, take the Headingley Test, you and Anil. Take the Adelaide Test, Anil. Take overseas performances, Harbhajan Singh, whether it's Durban. Now, I did not hear you mention a spinner. Does Ravi Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja have it in them to do the job in Australia? And if so, what do they need to do? Because that's the one area. You've got to contain, you've got to hold things up, you've got to give crucial breakthroughs that you and Anil Kumble so successfully did over a period of time. Talk to me about the spinners and what it takes for our spinners to be successful in Australia.
Well, I think, while bowling in overseas conditions, we have to keep our egos aside. While we play in India, we know that, things will happen for us. Even on the second day, third day, or the fourth day, ball will start turning. But where sometime in overseas conditions, that doesn't happen. But that's where you need to keep your ego aside and not, start doing different things and start planning different things than the team plan. I think you got to stick to the team's plan and bowl according to that plan, and bowl as tight as you can. Hold one end, not to give too many runs away, and try and take those crucial 1 or 2 wickets. You're not going to get 5 wickets all the time there, but even if you get 2 important wickets for the team, you have done your job. So I think that's what I would advise to the spinners who are playing there, and they are both are very, very matured, and they have played a lot of cricket together, and I'm sure they're going to come good. They have been there on tours. They have been on those tours previously, and I'm sure they would like to do even better than what they have performed last time. So they are quality spinners, and I hope they'll take those important wickets.
Okay. Last one, we both know we were on WhatsApp and speaking to each other when you decided family first and did not go for the IPL in 2020, which again I thought was perfectly understandable given what the world was going through. You have a young child, a young wife, a young family at home, and you needed to take care and prioritize, which you did. But come 21, Saurav is on record on this show saying the IPL will be in India. So tell me, are we going to see Harbhajan Singh in IPL 21? I'm not saying Chennai Super Kings or Kolkata or Mumbai or any side, but do you want to continue playing the IPL in 21, or is it too early to ask you that question? Have you thought about it? Do we see Harbhajan Singh back on the field?
Yeah, I would love to be on the park. Yes, I took that decision. It was a very, very tough decision for me to, not to go to Dubai and not to play in the IPL, because that's the only tournament I play. But I felt at that point of time, family is more important, and I'm the only male support for them at home. So my responsibilities are more towards my family now than obviously playing cricket. So I hope by then Corona will settle. Now, if we talk about the next IPL, Corona and all the other things settle, and I get some peace in my mind, and I can start thinking on those terms that I'm playing the game and enjoying the game. So I would like to be on a park once again, and let's see for how many seasons. But I would like to be there playing.
I'll close on that note because Harbhajan Singh did bring a smile on a billion faces on countless occasions, and I don't know how many Indians have been able to do that. Each time we go and check the videos of those games and those matches, more we talk India, Australia, each of us have a smile on our face. I think that's an unparalleled achievement. A great cricketer, a great friend, a great family man, more importantly, someone who gave it his all when he wore the tricolour. Harbhajan Singh, thank you very much for gracing this show. And sooner than later, post-corona, in a better world, I hope we are able to meet in person. Till then, thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
I have been a newsman for more than 3 decades, grappling with issues, reporting the stories of our times. My hair has gone grey, but the aim hasn't